This is Stampy, and welcome to episode 3 of How to Minecraft. In this episode, it's all about mining and crafting. No surprise to you, two of the most important things in the game. It's mainly going to be about mining though, I'll be honest. And mining is very, very important. And the first thing you want to do before going mining is being ready to go mining. There's some things that you just simply can't get when you're under the ground. And one of the biggest things is food. There is food you can get under the ground, but it's pretty rare and pretty difficult, so we're not going to worry about that for now. We are going to make sure that we have plenty of food in our pockets. We're going to take a picnic down with us, so we're set up going. So I'm going to go and gather up a little bit more of this wheat. I'm also going to go and put some more of my raw beef into the furnace, so we have plenty of food. And the other big thing, which is almost impossible to get under the ground unless you've set it up, is wood. There's obviously no trees under the ground, as you would expect, and so we're going to want to make sure that we gather up quite a bit of wood before we go down, just in case we need it. Wood is just very important in crafting almost everything, so you want to make sure that you always have plenty of wood at hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try and breed some more of these cows, and I'm not going to worry about getting any more beef for now because we should have enough, but I am going to go and cut down a few of more of these trees, and then we can go and set off and going under the ground and begin our first mining expedition together. And it's something that you don't want to take lightly. Especially if you spent a long time gathering lots of materials, it can be very dangerous when in the mines. It's one of the most dangerous places to be in Minecraft. And so, whoa, watching out for creepers, watching out for creepers. And this is why, because it's so dark under the ground, almost anywhere you haven't been is going to be full of these mobs. So that is why it's going to be so dangerous when we're down there. So I'm going to cut down one more tree, and then we should have everything we need to go and set off. But to set off might not be as obvious as you think, because the way Minecraft works is no matter where you are, if you dig straight down, you're going to go and keep digging down and have the chance of gathering lots of materials. And so there's several different ways you can go mining. Probably the most effective but most boring is strip mining, which is where you dig down and then you go and just try and dig in big, long, straight roads, gathering all of the materials. And strip mining's good because it's safe, but you don't get as many materials quickly. But yeah, as I said, it's just safer, which makes it better, but it's just really boring. I find it's just really boring digging in big, straight rows, so I'm not going to worry about doing that. The other way is by just going to try and find a big natural open cave and then just going and exploring that. But first, before we set off, I want to go and empty out anything that I don't think I'm going to need. Because I'm going to be going under the ground, my inventory is going to be filling up with stone and all of the materials that I'm mining. So I want to get rid of every single thing that I don't think I'm going to need. I'm also going to make myself a spare stone sword, because as you can see, that stone sword's almost disappeared. You see under the weapons and tools, there's kind of like a health bar for them. And because this one's in the red and has only got a little bit left, that means that stone sword is going to get destroyed soon, and the way they get deteriorated is by basically just using them. And so I should be set now though. I should be set to start digging down. I'm actually going to go and make one more spare stone pickaxe as well, because that's probably going to disappear soon. And I could either just go and start digging down straight here if I wanted to, and wait until I get to a cave. But instead, what I like to do is to just go and try and find the start of what looks to be a big cave, and then that way I can try and find as many materials as quickly as I can. And there's a few things I'm looking for. The main thing I'm looking for at the beginning is iron. Iron is very useful, it's relatively common, which is nice, and it makes very good tools and very good armor. And the first thing you want when mining is good tools and armor. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to look for, and then a little bit later on, we're going to start looking for a few more exciting things, and hopefully, at some point in the video, come across the rarest item, well, one of the rarest items you're going to find underground, and that is diamonds. But something that you're going to get absolutely everywhere is coal. And whoa, and creepers, and creepers. The important thing, what you want to do when you come across a mob like that and you're not expecting it, is to not panic. You see, I was totally fine there. Even though there's a creeper in my face, I knew if I backed off just a little bit, even if he did explode, I was absolutely fine there. So you just want to make sure you stay calm and don't run into them and just sort of back off, swinging your sword, and you should be okay. And by the looks of it, it looks like we've come across our first natural cave. And this here is iron. This kind of orangey stone here is iron. But I don't want to start mining it yet, because I could be attacked while mining it. So what I'm going to do is go a little bit forward and try and clear out the cave in front of us. So that skeleton could have started attacking us while mining, or even worse, there could have been a creeper down here that could have blown us up while I was mining. So I want to move ahead a little bit, put down some torches, so now I know nothing's going to spawn here, and now I can go back safely here and start gathering the iron. But this isn't actually iron, this is called iron ore. If you look at it here, it says iron ore, and to turn it into actual iron, you need to smelt it in a furnace. And that doesn't mean I need to go back to the house to put it in a furnace. I can just make a furnace while I'm down here. But what it basically means is I can't use it instantly. I need to wait for a little bit of time for it to smelt before I can use it. And you can immediately see why it gets so dangerous while we're down here. And I might actually have a chance of getting a music disc here, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. To get a music disc, you need a skeleton to shoot a creeper and kill it. But yeah, you don't really need music disc yet. It doesn't really matter this early on in the game. I got really hurt there though. You can see how easily you could die, and if I just spent hours down in the cave gathering all of my materials, I would have been very upset if I died there. I mean, I was right near my house, so it wouldn't have been a big issue for now, but that could have been very dangerous. So before I do anything, I'm going to go and start putting some torches all over the place to try and stop things spawning in. There's also mushrooms down here, which is one of the ways I was talking about, one of the few ways you can get food while under the ground, but as I said, they're not too common, so I wouldn't worry about that. And the first thing I want to do, especially after that, is to make myself an iron sword. So I'm going to make myself another crafting table. Don't worry about making lots of crafting tables, because they're so easy to make. All you need is one block of wood really, and you can make one. You can pretty much plonk them all over the place and not worry about wasting them. And if I go and put some coal in here, I can go and put in my iron, and that's going to start smelting. And I need 2 pieces of iron to try and make myself an iron sword. And while that's smelting, I might actually go and wander around and see if I can find any more iron around here. I'm sure I saw some a second ago. I can't remember where. It's pretty common, and you can get it from pretty high up. There's different materials that can be found at different levels, and coal and iron can be found at almost any level, which means you can find some really high up, almost on the surface, as well as deep down in the caves as well. So you can generally find iron all over the place. And the reason I want some more iron ore is so I can make myself an iron pickaxe. And there's different tiers of pickaxes, and not only do they last longer if you have a higher tier, and they also mine quicker, they can also mine different materials. So for example, I couldn't mine diamonds with a stone pickaxe. If I tried, I would just destroy the diamonds. And that is actually what I did the first time I found diamonds. So I want to immediately make myself an iron sword. And then once I've got the rest of this iron, I can make myself an iron pickaxe. And they're the main things I need. So I want to make sure I'm holding the iron sword rather than the stone one, so I don't get confused. And something that I realized I didn't mention in the last episode is guarding. If you hold the left trigger rather than the right trigger, you guard your sword, and it makes you move slower, but it also means you take half damage. And you generally don't want to guard too often, but the main time you want to is when getting shot by a skeleton. If you see an arrow coming and you're quick, you can quickly guard, and then you take half the amount of damage. Anyway, this iron should have almost finished. There we go. So I can go and grab that. I can also go and pick up my furnace, and once I've crafted my pickaxe, I can go and pick up my my crafting table here as well, and we can go and set off. So let me get my my iron pickaxe here, and you'll notice now that when I mine, the blocks will get destroyed much quicker. If I go to this coal here, you can see that I managed to gather it up much quicker than when I was using my my stone pickaxe. Anyway, let's go and try and find some more exciting materials. So I want to try and get as deep as I can. The way you can see how deep you are is by looking on your map. And so the Y is what you want to look at, and that says what layer you're on. So I'm on layer number 55. To get diamonds, which is the rarest and the best item in the game. Well, there's one other item called emeralds. I'm not going to worry about that for now. But in terms of crafting, the main thing you want to worry about is diamonds. And you get them from layers 1 to 16, so quite deep. And it seems like this cave doesn't go any deeper. So what we're going to do is the other method I told you about, and that is just digging down. Normally, when you just keep digging down straight like this, you're going to eventually end up into a cave. But you notice I'm not digging directly down. If I literally looked at the floor, and just kept digging, I would get down quicker, but it's very dangerous because I could dig straight into a big drop like that. Say if I was just digging straight down, I could fall down that drop and die. I could also land in lava or water, so make sure when you're digging, you're kind of doing a little staircase as you go, and you also want to try and remember where you came from. I'm not worrying about it too much for now, but the standard tactic is when you're walking around to always place torches on one side of the wall only. Then that way, when you're trying to get back out, you can go and very easily just follow the row of torches on the other side of the wall, if that makes sense. So that way you won't get lost in a cave. And it looks like I'm going very deep down here already, and I was shot by a skeleton there, and I have no idea where he is. I'm gonna go, is he down there or up here? Is he down here somewhere? Oh, he's hiding in the water. Look at that sneaky little skeleton. Right, let's go and try and take him out. He actually really hurt me there. And I'm gonna try and get some more iron, so then I can make some iron armor. You can see how quickly I got hurt there, and so if I had iron armor, I'd get hurt a lot slower. And this orange stuff here, you might have already guessed, it's pretty obvious, this is lava. If I go into the lava, it sets me on fire and hurts me a lot. It's one of the most dangerous things that there are in the game, and if I was digging straight down, once again, there was a chance I could have dug straight into lava, and then there wouldn't have been anything I could do about that. And it also goes for digging straight up as well, just in case there's water above you and you drown, or even gravel. Gravel, unlike some of the other blocks, has gravity. Gravel and sand is the same, which means that if the block is placed and there's nothing underneath it, it's going to drop. Whereas most blocks like stone and dirt, it will actually just stay in place without any gravity. So that's an important thing to bear in mind. So let me just go and put some torches around the area to try and stop things spawning. And you may have noticed that I was gathering up a weird blue block here. I didn't mention what this is. This is called Lapis Lazuli. And you can see it here. It's not particularly useful. You don't really use it for crafting. And hello, creeper. I should be okay here. He shouldn't drop down. They normally don't drop down more than 2 blocks, so I should be okay here. I'm gonna keep my ears out. Make sure you're always playing with sound as well to listen in case you're snuck up on. And so yeah, Lapis Lazuli is basically used as a dye. It's just a decorative block. If you get lots of it, you can make a whole block of lapis, and it basically looks like a nice blue color. Also, you can use it to dye sheep's wool different color, and then if you shear the sheep, you can get blue sheep, and it's the only way to get blue sheep. So it is useful, but not amazingly useful. And I think I might have found something called a dungeon up here. I think I found a dungeon and a zombie spawner. Let me just check if it is. And if it is, I'm going to explain what these are, because these are actually kind of useful, but also dangerous. So I want to be very careful here. I wouldn't want to go in here unless I had my iron sword. So I'm going to try nerd pole up. You may remember in a past episode I told you how to do this. Just look at the ground and keep placing blocks. And yes, I have. This is called a dungeon. When you see this mossy cobblestone, that means there's a dungeon. And there's going to be a spawner of a googly in here. You see this thing here? This weird cage with a zombie in spinning around? That means it's going to be spawning in zombies. And you get all different types of them. You can get skeleton spawners. You can also get spider spawners and zombie spawners. And basically, they're going to keep spawning out of this cage. If you put a torch on top of it, it means that they're going to no longer spawn, which means it's safe. But the good thing about these dungeons is you can look in these chests and you get good things. You can see I got some cocoa beans, I can make cookies out of them. I got some buckets, which you can use to bucket up milk, lava and water, and some enchanted books, which I'm not going to worry about for now, but I am going to take this string and anything in this chest. Here we go. We found a saddle, and saddles can only be found in dungeons. You can't actually craft saddles, so these are very useful. And also on the ground here, this is called Mossy Cobblestone, and this is only found in dungeons, so it's worth gathering this up just in case you want to build out of it. But because I got some string, I'm actually going to go and make a new weapon. I am going to go and make a bow and arrow. So if I place down my crafting table, I need some sticks and some string, and I can now make myself a bow. And it's different to the sword because it's longer range, and the way it works is you hold it down, and the longer you hold it down, the more you pull it back, and then you fire, and you can try and take enemies out like that. The main way you're going to get your arrows is by killing skeletons, but you can also get them by crafting them, and you need feather, a stick, and flint as well. and you get flint by destroying gravel. And sorry, I know I'm throwing loads of facts at you and loads of information, but it is all quite useful. And there's also an amazing Minecraft wiki. If you just Google in Minecraft wiki, you'll come across it, and it will give you all of the information about different things that you can craft. So it's always good to bear that in mind in case you ever get confused. But what I want to do is keep digging down and trying to find even more iron. And once I've got, ooh, can you see that? You see that little creeper hiding behind here? That'll be a lot easier to take out now I've got my iron sword. And remember, as I said in the last video, using a bow and arrow is the best way to take out a creeper because then they can't get close enough to you to blow you up. So let me go and get lots of iron, and I'm going to go and try and give myself a full set of iron armor, which will protect me a lot and make my chances of survival much higher. But we are getting very deep now, and we should be getting close to diamond level. And to get diamonds, we would be very lucky. As I said, it is very rare. And or you also often get confused with lapis because diamonds are a very pale blue, and then lapis is a dark blue. They can often look quite similar, so you want to make sure you don't get too confused. So let me go and gather up a little bit more iron. Then I'm going to carry on moving forward a little bit until I find what seems to be quite a safe area. Then I'm going to put down my furnace again and start trying to smelt my iron. And is this another? I think there might be another dungeon ahead of me here. Whenever you see cobblestone, that almost means you've found it. And look, there's some emeralds down here. Emeralds are very useful. I want to make sure I'm safe as I gather. And oh look, gold over there as well. We're getting lots of good things. So let me go and gather up these emeralds. These are even rarer than diamonds, and their main use is trading with villagers. You can also, if you get enough of them, make an emerald block. But these are very rare, and this is actually the first time I have ever found one. So this is quite exciting for me as well. But it looks like we've got another dungeon here. And is this going to be skeletons? Oh no, this is another zombie one by the looks of things. So let's take out the zombie. And let's go and put this down. And these are also very useful because they can be used as experience farms or to gather up loot. And so if this was a skeleton spawner, I could stay here just killing the skeletons to try and get as many arrows as I can, for example. So they can actually be very useful. And let me go and empty out some of the things I don't need. I don't need all of this cobblestone, and I can go and empty out some of this. I don't need the mushrooms. I'm going to leave the enchanted books and strings and other things in here just because I don't need them for now, and the rotten flesh. And yeah, as I was saying, also you can use them to keep killing zombies to try and get experience. You can see that there's a number. Just in the middle of the screen, you see at the bottom in the middle, there's a 10 there, a green 10. That is my experience level. And experience is used for a few different things now, but it's mainly used for enchanting things. And to do that, you need an enchantment table. And I'm not going to go into that because that's quite advanced, but it's good to basically kill googlies to get your experience up. You can also get it from a few other ways like farming and mining, and so these dungeons are always good to remember where they are because they can become very useful in the future. But what this is for now is a safe place for me to start smelting some of my iron so I can go and try and make myself some iron armor. Then I should be a little bit safer, but I don't want to be boring. I don't want to stay in here while that's going. I'm going to go and explore a little bit and see if I can go and try and find the gold. I remember seeing gold somewhere down here, and I want to be very careful because there is this water and lava all over the place, and I could actually try and get rid of the lava. If I use my bucket, I can actually just go and grab the lava. So there's two ways I could get rid of this. If I placed a block where the lava is coming from, that would actually block the lava. But seeing as I have a bucket, an easier way might be just to grab the lava in the bucket, and it will take a while, but this lava will very slowly, gradually disappear until there's none left. But while that's going, I'm going to go and try and gather up some of this gold. And gold is quite rare. It's not unbelievably rare, and it's not as useful as diamonds, but it's very pretty, and it can be used to make a few things. The biggest use probably is used for making power rails, which is basically minecart tracks. You can power them by using gold and redstone, and I'm going to talk about redstone a little bit more in future videos, although we are going to hopefully come across some in this video, and I'm going to go and try and mine some for you. So gold, as I said, is pretty and is used for a few things, but you don't want to make any of your tools out of it. It's not very good as a sword or a pickaxe or anything, so even though you can use it and you might assume it would be better than iron, it actually isn't. But once again, like iron, you gather it as an ore, and then you have to smelt it. So I'm just going to smelt a little bit for you, just so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to go and grab the rest of this iron, and I'm going to go and try and craft myself some iron armor, and then I am going to feel much safer. So let's put down my crafting table, and let's go and try and make myself some armor. So I'm going to do some boots. I always like to have silver boots. I think it looks good. I call them my Stampy style boots. And then I'm going to go and make myself some leggings, and I don't have enough for a chest plate yet. But you will see that I now have 4 pieces of armor. So originally, with just my leather helmet, I only had 1, but I now had 4. So this is what the gold looks like. And whoa! Hello! Hello! I don't know how that zombie spawned. They're not supposed to spawn. Well, the torches there. Let me just go and put a few more torches around just in case. There we go. We should be okay now. Right, let me go and put a bit more of the iron smelting in there and another piece of coal in case we run out. And I do want to try and get myself a full set. Just so I can stay safe. And I'm going to take a bit of bread as well, and I can go and put that in there. I should have plenty of food for now, actually. And I'm not going to worry about the cocoa beans either, because actually no, I will take them. I will take them just because they're quite hard to find. I will keep them with me. And so yeah, while that's smelting, I'm going to go for another look, and I'm going to go and try and find some redstone. And redstone, as you might assume, is red, and so it's quite easy to spot because it's the only red ore. And we are currently in a ravine. This is like a big chasm, and these are very useful for mining, basically because imagine someone's just chiseled through the earth. It basically reveals all of the ore. So if this was all just filled in, then it would be hard to see everything. But because it's so open, it means that it's very easy for me just to look around and just look on the walls to see if there's any ores. The downside is that it's a big open dark area, which means there's going to be more googly spawning than if it was all just filled in. So it's a little bit more dangerous, but if you want to gather up lots of materials very quickly, it's more useful. Right, I'm going to make a few more torches because I'm running out of them a little bit, and keep wandering this way. I'm going to get to the end of the chasm this side, then I'm going to head back and grab my iron, and then I'm going to go and wander off in the other direction. I can't see any redstone around here. Redstone is found very deep under the ground, and so I'm not sure if I'm going to be deep enough yet, but I will grab a little bit more iron. And I will grab a little bit more coal while I'm here. And there we go. Did you see the gravel drop? You see the way that gravel drops down? That's what I was talking about with it having gravity. So if that fell on my head and I got stuck in it, then that means that I would be getting hurt and could die. But I'm going to show you how to get flint. If I use a shovel and start breaking away some of the gravel, I do grab the gravel block, but there's also a chance of me getting an item called flint. And here we go. This is flint here. If I combined it with the iron, I could make flint and steel. And you can use that to set things on fire, which is very useful. But I could also use flint by itself to make arrows as well, which is very useful. So I'm going to head back now, back to my little dungeon, and I'm going to go and try and get my full set of iron armor. And then that will sadly end this episode here. But what I think I might do is I might have another episode talking about mining, because I still think there's quite a lot of things that I want to say about that I didn't have time to talk about yet. And so yeah, that's going to end this episode here. I'm going to first go and make myself my iron armor, just so you can see what I look like when I'm fully kitted up. Let's go and put on my iron helmet. I don't need that level 1 anymore, and my chest plate. So there we go. I am now much stronger now and will take many more hits until I'm taken out. So in the next episode, I'm going to do mining and crafting continued. And it's going to be a little bonus episode where I can talk about all of the things I didn't have time to talk about in this episode. So I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!